I always knew I was the glue. Not because anyone told me. God, no. No one ever said thank you. But when you're the one who wakes up first to make lunches, who walks the twins to school in the rain, who knows that mom likes her coffee scalding but with too much sugar, who patches up fights and hides sharp words, you know. You're the glue. And the glue doesn't get praised. The glue just holds things together. I'm 19, still living at home. Not because I'm lazy or can't get my life together. I work 2 part-time jobs and have been saving every spare dollar for community college this fall. I should have left already. I know that. But it's hard to walk away when your little brothers still cry if you're 10 minutes late picking them up. When your mom texts you in all caps if the dishes aren't done. When your 13-year-old sister has never done a single load of laundry in her life because you've always done it for her. We were supposed to be a team, I guess. Single mom for kids. No help. It sounds noble on paper, but in real life, it's chaos. And in that chaos, I became invisible, not to strangers. At the grocery store, old ladies smile at me when I help the twins with the cart. At work, customers thank me for remembering their orders. But in this house, I'm background noise. Expected. Resented. Never considered. The night everything shifted, I was doing what I always did, scrubbing dried lasagna from the casserole dish while mom scrolled on her phone and Mia, my 13-year-old sister, FaceTimed in the living room. It was the usual kind of evening. The boys were fighting over a Lego set. Someone had spilled juice. Mom was ignoring all of it. And me? I was elbow-deep in soapy water, already mentally drafting tomorrow's to-do list. That's when I heard it. Mia, giggling to someone on the other end of the call. She wasn't whispering. She wasn't even trying to be quiet. And I wasn't eavesdropping, she was just talking loud enough for anyone in the house to hear. She said, "Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice." Like it was the weather. Like she was repeating something funny someone said on TV. No venom. No cruelty. Just fact. I froze. Not dramatically. Not soap dripping on the floor frozen. Just still. Like someone had pressed pause. Mia laughed again at whatever her friend replied. I couldn't move. I stared at the dish in my hands until my vision blurred. The smell of garlic and dish soap made me nauseous. Mom says. That's what stuck with me. Not Mia thinks. Not as a joke. Mom said it. And she'd said it casually enough that Mia could repeat it like a fun fact. I finished the dishes. Wiped the counters. Put the leftovers in containers. I didn't say a word. Didn't storm into the living room. Didn't scream, "What did you just say?" Because what was the point? They wouldn't get it. Mia would say, "God, it was just a joke." Mom would pretend she never said it. Maybe accuse me of being dramatic. The boys would look confused. Too young to understand. So I went upstairs. I closed the door to the room I shared with the twins. And I packed. Quietly. Calmly. A single duffel bag. My savings envelope from under the mattress. A charger. A hoodie. 1 book. Toothbrush. Done. I didn't cry. I didn't even feel angry. Just numb. At 4:45 a.m., I tiptoed downstairs. The house was still. Mom's door was shut. The twins' feet poked out from their tangled blanket fort. Mia's phone glowed beside her face as she slept. I left a single envelope on the kitchen table. Inside was a blank sheet of printer paper. In the center, in the darkest ink I could find, I wrote 1 word. Noted. And I left. The world didn't explode. No one chased after me barefoot in the street. No dramatic phone calls. Not yet. I got on the early bus into the city. Used my savings to book a room in a shared apartment with a tiny window and a mattress on the floor. Found a coffee shop that needed help and started the next day. The first night I slept there, the silence was deafening. No crying kids. No mom yelling about the Wi-Fi. Just the buzz of traffic and the occasional neighbor coughing through the wall. It felt like freedom. Lonely, terrifying freedom. But still freedom. I didn't check my phone. I didn't wait for apologies. I didn't wonder if they noticed I was gone. Because for the first time in years, I noticed myself, and that was enough. The first person to text me was not Mom. Not Mia. It was my youngest brother, Lucas. 8 years old. Spelling still hit or miss. Are you at work? You didn't wake us up. Mom said you went on trip. Where? I miss you. I stared at the screen in the break room, my hands shaking even though the message itself was harmless. Sweet, even. Lucas didn't understand. He couldn't. And yet, his words cracked open something I'd been trying to keep sealed. I locked my phone and slipped it into my apron pocket. Work helped. 6-hour shifts, back to back. customers, orders, dishes, tips, polite small talk, friendly coworkers, the repetitive comfort of wiping counters and restocking napkins. At night, I collapsed into bed with aching feet and a full heart. Not because life was easy, but because it was mine now. No one barged in asking where their socks were. No one screamed from downstairs about spilled cereal. No guilt. No games. Just quiet. Still, Lucas's texts kept coming. Every few days. Today at school, I drawed you a picture. Mia was mean to me. I told her to shut up. Mom keeps forgetting to pick us up. Can I come visit? Each one chipped away at me. But I didn't reply. Because if I cracked the door open, even just a little, I knew they'd shove their way through. About 2 weeks after I left, Mia finally reached out. Her text was a single line. Seriously? You left over that? No apology. No guilt. Just annoyance. I didn't answer. That opened the floodgates. You're being insane. It was a joke. Mom didn't even say that. You always overreact. God, you think you're better than us now? And finally, fine. Stay gone. No one cares. That one hit harder than I wanted to admit. Because the words themselves weren't what hurt. It was how easy they were for her. Like she'd been waiting to say them. Like she meant them more than she wanted to admit. I didn't respond. A few more days passed. Then I got a voicemail from my mom. Her voice was tight, clipped. Not angry exactly, just controlled. Like she was trying not to sound angry. I don't know what you think you're proving, running off like this. We're all worried, obviously, but if this is your way of throwing a tantrum, it's not working. You've made your point. Come home, or don't. Just don't expect anyone to chase you. It was the most honest thing she'd ever said. She wouldn't chase me. Not because she was giving me space, but because she didn't know how to need me without controlling me. So I stayed gone. Fall semester crept closer. I officially enrolled. Picked classes. Bought my own notebooks for the first time. Found myself making dumb little decisions that felt huge, like buying the good cereal. Getting ice cream on a Tuesday. Leaving dishes in the sink without guilt. Meanwhile, the messages shifted. Mia stopped being cruel. She started being desperate. Can we talk? I didn't mean it. Please just answer me. I'm sorry, okay? Mom's losing it. She screams all the time now. At everyone. You have no idea what it's like here without you. That one broke me. Because I did know. I'd always known. I'd been holding the whole place together for years. And now they were finally seeing the cracks. I didn't reply. I didn't reply when Lucas sent me a photo of the picture he drew. A stick figure with my sister, written in wobbly crayon letters. I didn't reply when Mia called 5 times in one night. I didn't reply when Mom sent a curt message asking if I was done with this yet. But I did cry. In the dark, alone, in my rented room. Because the part no one tells you about leaving is that it doesn't always feel triumphant. Sometimes it feels like grief. Even when you're grieving something that never loved you right to begin with. One night, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi, I'm Ms. Patel. I'm Lucas and Jamie's teacher. I hope this isn't inappropriate, but they've been coming to school disheveled and often tired or without lunch. They mentioned you often, with a lot of love. I just wanted to make sure you were okay and see if there's anything I can do. I stared at that one for a long time. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know what kind of minefield she was stepping into. She just saw 2 little boys who were clearly missing someone. I wrote back, "Thank you for reaching out. I'm okay. Please know that if I could help without being pulled back in, I would. But I can't. Not yet. Tell them I'm proud of them. Please." She replied, "Of course. I understand. They miss you. But I think they'll be okay. And I hope you are, too." I was. I am. It's hard. But it's real. Every day, I wake up and choose myself. Not out of selfishness, but because I spent 19 years choosing everyone else. And the truth is, sometimes the only way to be seen is to disappear. The first time I saw them again was by accident. I was walking home from class, earbuds in, half listening to a podcast, when I spotted them on the opposite side of the street. Mom, Mia, and the twins. All 4 of them. They didn't see me. Mom was holding a grocery bag in one hand, her phone in the other, talking sharply into the speaker. Mia trailed behind, head down, arms crossed. The twins were bickering, tugging at each other's jackets. No one was smiling. And I just stood there, hidden behind a bus shelter, watching them like a stranger. Because I was a stranger now, and maybe that was safer. I waited until they passed, then ducked down the side street, and walked the long way home. I couldn't explain the ache in my chest. It wasn't longing exactly, or regret. It was more like mourning. For the version of me that would have run across the street, waved, offered to carry the groceries. The version of me who would have walked back with them and disappeared again into the noise. That version was gone. I knew they were struggling. Ms. Patel had sent one more email, gently letting me know that Lucas had started acting out in class, and Jamie had been falling asleep at his desk. She wasn't asking me to come back. She wasn't pushing, just letting me know. I thanked her, and I said nothing else. That weekend, Mia called again. I watched the screen light up 3 times before silencing it. Then she texted, "I cleaned the kitchen today. No one even noticed." I get it now. I'm sorry. That one stopped me cold. There was a long pause, then another text. Mom cries a lot. Not in front of the boys. But I hear her at night. She keeps saying you'll come back. I don't think she knows how to say she was wrong. I didn't know what to do with that. Was that supposed to move me? Pull me back? Rewind everything? I didn't want revenge. I wasn't angry anymore. But I also wasn't interested in comforting the people who only noticed me when I was gone. That night, I sat in the cafe after my shift ended. One of the regulars, a kind old man named Arthur, handed me a tip folded into an origami crane. He did that sometimes. "College kid, right?" he asked. I nodded. "You're gonna do good things," he said. It was such a simple sentence, but it landed like truth. No one in my family had ever said that to me. Not once. I walked home that night under string lights and cool September air, feeling more whole than I had in years. And yet, the texts kept coming. From Mia, "The boys ask about you constantly. I keep telling them you're okay. I'm not sure if I believe it. Are you okay?" From Lucas, in misspelled sentences, "I'm mad at you, but I still love you. Please come back home." And then finally, from Mom. No greeting. No preamble. Just, "You've made your point. This is childish. When you're done being dramatic, let us know. The boys need you." I didn't respond, but I reread that last line over and over. Not "we miss you." Not "I was wrong." Just, "the boys need you." Because even now, my value was still what I could do for them. The hardest part wasn't resisting her. It was thinking about the twins, about Lucas and Jamie, and wondering what kind of men they'd grow up to be without someone soft between them and the sharp edges. I thought about sending them a postcard. Something small, gentle, a reminder. But then I thought about the slippery slope of it. How quickly it could turn into daily calls, dropped boundaries, subtle guilt. So I didn't. Instead, I did something for me. I printed out my fall schedule and pinned it to my bedroom wall. I got a little calendar and marked off each day I stayed gone. Every time I doubted myself, I reread Mia's old messages. Especially the one that started it all. "Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice." Now they'd noticed. They noticed in missed rides and cold dinners and forgotten lunchboxes. They noticed in silence where my voice used to be. They noticed in the crumbling routine I used to hold up without thanks. But the thing is, noticing isn't the same as caring. And apologizing isn't the same as changing. So I stayed quiet. I stayed gone. And slowly, I started to feel visible. To myself. I wrote a short essay for English class about the difference between being useful and being loved. The professor pulled me aside afterward and said, "You've got a voice." I nearly cried in his office. Because no one had ever said that before. It had been almost 3 months. I'd gone from being someone else's emergency contact to someone who sat alone in a quiet cafe reading poetry after class. I was still broke, still tired, still unsure about the future most days. But I was free. Sometimes freedom isn't a fireworks show. Sometimes it's sipping tea without interruption, folding laundry that's only your own, waking up and realizing no one's waiting to ruin your morning. It's peace, not loud, but whole. And then one morning, I got a knock on my door. Not a text, not a call, a physical, real-world knock. I wasn't expecting anyone. My roommates were gone for the weekend. I cracked the door and froze. It was Mia. She looked different. Older. Smaller, somehow. Her eyeliner was smudged. Her hoodie had a stain on it. She wasn't carrying anything except a backpack. My throat went dry. "Hey," she said, quiet. I didn't say anything. Just stepped back so she could come in. I didn't even think. It was muscle memory. She sat on the edge of the couch, knees bouncing. Didn't look at me right away. "I had to take 2 buses to get here," she said with a weak laugh. Still, I said nothing. She sighed, rubbed her hands together. "I know I have no right to show up. And I'm not here to drag you home. I swear. I couldn't keep texting and getting nothing back. I sat across from her. My hands were locked tightly in my lap. She finally looked at me. I miss you, she said. And not just because everything's hard now. I mean, yeah, it is. But that's not why I came. Tears welled up in her eyes before I even saw mine coming. I said a lot of things I didn't mean. And some things I did mean, but shouldn't have said. And Mom, she trailed off, then shook her head. She doesn't get it. She thinks you're doing all this for attention. My chest tightened. I don't think that, she added quickly. I think you finally got out. And maybe you should have left a long time ago. I guess I just didn't see it until you were gone. I swallowed hard. My voice came out hoarse. Why now? Mia shrugged, eyes darting around the room. Because I started hearing her say the same things about me. The little comments. The jabs. Telling me I'm useless. That I ruined everything. She blinked. I didn't think it would happen to me. But she needs someone to blame. She was shaking. She misses you. But she'll never admit it. And I think she's scared. Because the boys ask about you every day. And they're starting to see through her too. I closed my eyes. My throat burned. Mia kept going. I'm not here to beg you to come back. I know that's not fair. She took a deep breath. I wanted you to know that I see it now. Everything you did. Everything we took for granted. And I'm sorry. For a long moment, the room was so quiet we could hear the neighbors talking through the wall. I thought you hated me, I said finally. I didn't, she whispered. I just believed her. When she said you were dramatic. That you liked playing the victim. That you wanted to be a martyr. I nodded slowly. She said the same things about you, I replied. And I believed her too. We sat there in silence. Eventually, she reached into her backpack and pulled something out, a folded piece of paper. She slid it across the table to me. It was a note. In Lucas's crooked handwriting. A drawing of the five of us, me, Mia, the twins, and Mom holding hands. Underneath it, in red marker. Come home when you want to. I'll wait. I pressed it to my chest and let myself cry. Mia didn't reach for me. Didn't try to fix it. She just sat there and let it happen. Later, she left. I didn't invite her to stay. But I walked her to the bus stop. We stood on the sidewalk in silence, watching traffic. Right before she boarded, she turned to me. Even if you never come back, she said, you changed everything. Just by leaving. And then she was gone. I stood there long after the bus pulled away. Let the wind sting my face. Let the quiet wrap around me again. And I realized something. I didn't need to go back. But maybe, someday, I could choose to visit. On my terms. Because I was no longer invisible. Not to them. And definitely not to myself. And that one word I left behind, noted, it wasn't just a message to them. It was a promise to me. Never again would I beg to be seen. I see myself now. And that's enough.